welcome. Wherever you are right now, I invite you to gently pause. This moment is yours. A moment to set aside everything else, the worries, the noise, the countless distractions pulling at your attention. This is your time, your sacred space, a gift you give yourself to begin a journey of healing, forgiveness, and transformation. If you haven't already, find a place where you can be comfortable and undisturbed. You may choose to sit upright in a chair with your feet firmly grounded, or cross-legged on a cushion. Maybe lying down feels best. Allow your body to settle in a position that feels safe and supported. There is no need to force or strain. Just let your body soften and ease into this space now. Softly close your eyes, or keep them half closed if that feels better. Begin by simply noticing your breath. There is no need to change it. Just observe how the air naturally flows in and out. Feel the rise and fall of your chest or belly, the coolness as you breathe in, the warmth as you breathe out. Let your attention rest on your breathing like a gentle anchor, holding you steady in the present moment. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Fill your lungs fully, expanding your belly and chest as if you are breathing in fresh possibility and peace. Hold that breath for a moment at the top, just enough to savor the fullness. Then slowly exhale through your mouth, releasing tension, stress, or any heaviness you might be carrying. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears, your jaw unclench, and your entire body soften. Feel the weight of your body supported by the surface beneath you. Repeat this deep, mindful breath 2 more times. Inhale, drawing in calm and clarity. Exhale, letting go of distraction and strain. With every breath, feel yourself arriving more deeply into this present moment. You have arrived here intentionally. You have chosen this time and space to begin a path that is both gentle and powerful. The path of forgiveness, emotional control, and breaking free from harmful patterns. It is important to acknowledge the courage this takes. Forgiveness, especially, can feel like one of the hardest things to do. It touches the core of our hearts and minds, often where wounds run deep. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is not excusing harm or denying that pain exists. It is not a sign of weakness or submission. Instead, forgiveness is an act of profound strength and self-liberation. When you forgive, you are choosing freedom over bondage. You release the heavy chains of resentment, bitterness, and anger that weigh down your spirit. You reclaim your power to live fully without the constant burden of past hurts, defining your present or future. Think of forgiveness as opening a door that has long been closed. Beyond that door lies a room filled with light, peace, and healing. It may take time to fully step through that doorway, and that is perfectly okay. This journey is yours, unfolding at your own pace. Emotional control is a companion to forgiveness on this path. It is the practice of understanding your feelings, not being overwhelmed by them, and choosing how to respond rather than react. Emotions are not enemies. They are messengers, signals from within that reveal what matters deeply to us. But sometimes, emotions can feel like wild storms raging and unpredictable, flooding our minds and hearts. Emotional control is learning to be the calm eye at the center of the storm. It is developing the ability to pause, to breathe, to observe without judgment, and to respond with clarity and compassion. This skill empowers you to navigate life's challenges with greater ease. It helps you break free from cycles of impulsive reactions that may have caused harm to yourself or others, or kept you trapped in negativity. The third element of this journey is breaking harmful patterns. We all have patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving that no longer serve us. Maybe they once protected us, or were learned long ago, but now keep us stuck or cause suffering. Some patterns appear as repetitive thoughts, self-doubt, blame, or fear. Others show up as behaviors, avoidance, anger, outbursts, or people-pleasing. These patterns can keep us locked in painful cycles, repeating the same stories or relationships again and again. The path you embark on today is about shining a light on those patterns with kindness and curiosity, not harsh judgment. Awareness is the first step to change. Once you see clearly what no longer serves you, you can gently loosen its hold and create space for new, healthier ways of being. As you settle deeper into this intention, take a moment now to ask yourself, what is it that you truly wish to invite into your life through this practice? What is your heart longing for? Maybe you desire peace, an inner calm that is steady even when life feels uncertain. Perhaps you seek freedom from the weight of old grudges, self-criticism, or past wounds. You may want strength to face your emotions without fear and to respond with wisdom. Or it could be clarity to see yourself and your experiences with fresh eyes, free from the fog of pain. Whatever your intention, hold it gently in your mind and heart. There is no right or wrong answer. Your intention is a personal beacon, a guiding light to keep you aligned on your path. If it feels helpful, you might silently say these words to yourself. I am ready to forgive and to heal. I choose to release what no longer serves me. I open my heart to peace and understanding. Or create your own intention in words or images that resonates deeply with you. Return to your breath now, and as you inhale, imagine drawing in fresh energy and possibility. Feel this energy filling every cell in your body with light and warmth. As you exhale, imagine releasing old burdens, resentments, and pain. Let them flow out of you with your breath, no longer needed or welcome in your heart. Breathe in freedom, breathe out release. Let this rhythm become your mantra for the moments to come. Remember, this path is not a straight line. Some days will feel easier, others may be more challenging. This is natural. Be patient and gentle with yourself. Every step you take, no matter how small, is progress. By choosing to show up here and now, you honor the deepest part of yourself. You plant seeds of transformation that will blossom in time, nurtured by your commitment and kindness. As you continue, know that you are not alone. This path has been walked by countless others, seekers, healers, and everyday people who found courage in forgiveness and strength in emotional mastery. Take one more deep breath, feeling the fullness of this moment and the potential it holds. Hold your intention once more, soft and strong, like a flame glowing steadily within. When you feel ready, gently bring your awareness back to your body. Notice the points of contact where you sit or lie down. Feel the steady pulse of your heartbeat. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes slowly, awakening your body gently. And when you're ready, softly open your eyes. Welcome to your path of forgiveness, emotional control, and transformation. This is your time, your space, your journey. Let us begin. In the vast landscape of Zen teachings and ancient wisdom, stories of nature often reveal profound truths about the human experience. Among these, the parable of the mountain and the storm stands out as a timeless illustration of how to endure emotional turmoil with calm resilience, a lesson deeply relevant to forgiveness, healing, and emotional mastery. Let us journey together into this story, imagining ourselves standing before the towering mountain as a fierce storm approaches. The setting: a mountain in the valley of life. There was once a mountain majestic, an ancient, rising high above the valleys and forests below. Its peaks kissed the sky, wrapped in clouds and sunlight. The mountain had stood for centuries, weathering countless seasons, changes, and challenges. From afar, it seemed invincible, steadfast, and unshakable. Yet, the mountain's strength was not in rigidity or resistance, but in its profound resilience, its ability to endure and adapt. One day, dark clouds gathered ominously above the mountain. A storm was brewing. Fierce winds howled through the trees, heavy rains began to pour, and lightning flashed across the sky. The valley below braced for the tempest. Animals sought shelter, rivers swelled, and the earth trembled slightly. The mountain faced the storm with quiet dignity, though the winds battered its sides, and rain sliced like knives against its rocks. The mountain did not crumble or collapse. Instead, it stood calm, letting the storm pass over and through it. The mountain's wisdom, calm amidst turmoil. This parable invites us to see the mountain as a symbol of the human spirit, especially the capacity for calm resilience in the face of emotional turmoil. Life, like the storm, brings moments of chaos, loss, anger, sadness, and confusion. These experiences can feel overwhelming, threatening to shake us to our core. Yet, as the mountain shows, true strength lies not in fighting the storm or resisting pain, but in holding steady, in welcoming whatever comes with acceptance and inner calm. The mountain does not deny the storm's power. It does not try to control or change it. It simply endures, knowing that the storm will pass. Parallels to our emotional lives, storms arise as difficult feelings and experiences: heartbreak, betrayal, grief, or frustration. Often, our first impulse is to resist these emotions, to push them away, suppress them, or deny their existence. We may try to control circumstances or blame others, hoping to avoid pain. But like fighting the storm itself, this resistance often intensifies suffering. The mountain teaches us that embracing emotional storms with calm presence transforms how we experience them. Instead of becoming overwhelmed, we become witnesses, grounded and steady. This does not mean indifference or numbness. It means holding emotions with compassion, allowing them space to move without judgment. By practicing this, we cultivate emotional resilience, the ability to bend without breaking. The mountain's response, yielding and flexibility. Another lesson of the mountain is its flexibility. Though seemingly rigid, mountains shift and change subtly. Rocks erode, trees grow, snow melts. This natural yielding allows the mountain to survive through time. Similarly, emotional resilience involves a balance of strength and flexibility. We stand firm in our values and boundaries but remain open to change and growth. We allow feelings to flow through us rather than stiffening in denial or clinging to old wounds. This dynamic balance nurtures healing and forgiveness. Reflective questions as you consider the mountain's endurance. Ask yourself, what emotional storms are you currently facing? How do you typically respond to emotional turmoil? Are there areas where resistance creates more suffering? How might cultivating calm, presence, and flexibility transform your experience? Cultivating calm resilience. Practical steps inspired by the mountain. Here are practical ways to cultivate calm resilience in your emotional life. 1. Mindful awareness practice. Observing your emotions as they arise, noticing their intensity and impermanence. This awareness creates space between stimulus and reaction. 2. Acceptance. Allow yourself to feel whatever arises without judgment or avoidance. Recognize that emotions are natural and transient. 3. Gentle with yourself in moments of pain. Extend the same kindness to others experiencing difficulty. 4. Grounding. Techniques use breath, body awareness, or sensory anchors to stay present when emotions surge. 5. Flexibility. Stay open to new perspectives and possibilities. Avoid rigid thinking that traps you in suffering. 6. Seeking support. Reach out to trusted friends, counselors, or spiritual guides for help when needed. The mountain's legacy. Strength beyond time. The mountain does not claim invincibility. It accepts the inevitability of change through calm resilience. It endures beyond generations, a beacon of stability and hope. Similarly, your emotional strength grows as you practice presence and acceptance. Your spirit becomes a mountain, steady amid storms. Guided reflection and visualization. Close your eyes now and imagine yourself as the mountain. Feel your feet rooted deeply in the earth. Sense the solid support beneath you. Visualize the storm approaching, dark clouds, fierce winds, rain. Notice how your body and mind respond. Invite calm to fill you. Breathe deeply. Feel yourself standing steady, unshaken by the storm's fury. Let the storm wash over you, knowing it will pass. After the storm, feel the freshness of the air, the clearing of the sky. Sense your renewed strength and peace. Thank you for journeying with the mountain today. May its calm resilience inspire you to meet life's storms with courage and grace. Remember, the storms will come and go, but your inner mountain stands strong, grounded in presence. Forgiveness is a word we often hear in conversations, in spiritual teachings, in moments of pain and reconciliation. But what does forgiveness truly mean, especially in the context of Zen? How does this ancient tradition, rooted in mindfulness and presence, invite us to understand and practice forgiveness in a way that transforms our hearts and minds? To begin, it is important to recognize what forgiveness is not. Forgiveness does not mean condoning or excusing harmful actions. It does not ask us to pretend that pain or injustice did not happen. Forgiveness is not about denying your experience or the validity of your feelings, nor does forgiveness require reconciliation or reestablishing trust with those who have caused harm. These are separate matters, and forgiveness can take place with or without them. Instead, forgiveness in Zen is about freeing yourself. It is about releasing the prison of resentment, anger, and bitterness that keeps your heart captive. Imagine resentment as heavy chains forged from the fires of past wounds. These chains weigh you down, cloud your vision, and rob you of peace. Forgiveness is the act of unlocking those chains and choosing freedom, not for the one who harmed you, but for yourself. Zen teaches that suffering arises not only from the events that happen to us, but from the stories we tell ourselves about those events. When you hold on to resentment, your mind replays the hurt over and over, like a song stuck on repeat. This mental loop deepens suffering and prevents healing. One of the central teachings of Zen is the practice of mindfulness, being fully present with whatever arises in the moment, without judgment or resistance. When you bring this mindful awareness to your feelings of hurt and anger, you begin to see them as transient experiences, like clouds passing across the sky. They come and go. They do not define who you are. By observing your pain without clinging or pushing away, you allow it to move through you. This openness creates space for forgiveness to arise naturally. Forgiveness becomes less about an external act directed at someone else and more about an internal release, a gentle unfolding of the heart's capacity to let go. Zen stories and teachings offer many profound illustrations of forgiveness. One well-known parable is that of the farmer whose horse ran away. When the neighbors expressed sympathy, he simply said, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returned with a wild stallion. The neighbors congratulated him, but again he said, "Maybe." Then the farmer's son broke his leg trying to tame the wild horse. The neighbors lamented the misfortune, and the farmer replied, "Maybe." Finally, the army came to conscript young men for war, but left the farmer's son because of his injury. Once again, the neighbors said, "What good luck?" And the farmer responded, "Maybe." This story reflects the Zen view that events themselves are neither inherently good nor bad. Our judgments and attachments create suffering. Forgiveness, in this light, is the willingness to let go of fixed ideas about what should or should not have happened, and to rest in the flow of life as it unfolds. Another key aspect of forgiveness in Zen is compassion for yourself and others. Often, resentment persists because of an unmet need or a wound that remains unhealed. Compassion allows you to recognize the shared humanity in pain. You may come to understand that those who hurt you are also suffering, trapped by their own fears and wounds. This doesn't mean accepting abuse or remaining in harmful situations. Instead, compassion offers a softening of the heart that opens the door to release and healing. It nurtures the ability to forgive without losing your boundaries or dignity. Practicing forgiveness in Zen often begins with turning inward. Meditation becomes a tool for sitting with difficult emotions, observing their presence, and gradually loosening their grip. You might start by simply noticing where in your body the pain of resentment lives. A tightness in the chest, a knot in the stomach, a tension in the jaw. Through breath and awareness, you invite these sensations to soften. You might silently say, "May I be free from this suffering," or "May I forgive myself and others." These intentions cultivate a heart that is open and receptive. It is essential to remember that forgiveness is a process, not a single event. Some wounds are deep, and the path to forgiveness can take time, days, months, even years. There may be moments when old feelings resurface, and that is part of the healing journey. Zen encourages patience and gentle persistence. Each time you return to your breath, your awareness, your intention, you reinforce the practice of letting go. You learn to meet yourself with kindness and acceptance, no matter what arises. One beautiful metaphor from Zen is that of the lotus flower, which grows in muddy water but blooms pure and radiant above the surface. Forgiveness is like the lotus. It emerges from the depths of pain and difficulty, transforming suffering into compassion and peace in your daily life. Forgiveness in Zen can be woven into your moments, in the way you respond to difficult people, challenging situations, or your own mistakes. It might be a quiet breath before reacting, a softening of the heart when resentment bubbles up, or a willingness to release grudges that weigh heavy on your spirit. As you cultivate this practice, you may notice a profound shift. Resentment loses its hold, your heart feels lighter, your mind becomes clearer. You open more fully to joy, connection, and love, not because harm never happened, but because you have chosen freedom over bondage. Forgiveness, seen through the lens of Zen, is an act of radical self-care and liberation. It is a courageous embrace of your own healing and wholeness, and it is an invitation to live with greater presence, compassion, and peace. Take a moment now to breathe deeply and let these words sink in. Reflect on what forgiveness means to you personally. What might it feel like to release the chains of resentment and step into freedom? Know that this path is open to you. You are not alone. Each step you take is a step toward greater peace. As you continue your practice, carry with you the intention to forgive, not for others, but for yourself, to free your heart, to clear your mind, and to live fully in the present moment. Now that we have set our intention and begun to explore the meaning of forgiveness through the lens of Zen, it's time to gently bring our attention inward and prepare the mind and body for the deeper work ahead. This segment will guide you through a breath-focused meditation, a simple yet powerful practice to anchor your awareness firmly in the present moment. In Zen, presence is everything. It is the foundation upon which insight and healing can arise. The breath is our constant companion, always here, always accessible. By returning to the breath, we create a safe, steady anchor amidst the swirling thoughts and emotions that often flood our minds. If you haven't already, find a posture that feels relaxed yet alert. Sit with your spine straight but not rigid. Allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. Rest your hands comfortably, perhaps on your lap or knees. If sitting is uncomfortable, feel free to lie down, keeping your body relaxed but awake. Begin by softly closing your eyes or lowering your gaze to minimize visual distractions. Bring your awareness to the natural rhythm of your breathing. Notice the way the air flows in and out through your nostrils. Feel the subtle coolness as you inhale and the gentle warmth as you exhale. Take a moment just to observe your breathing, not trying to change it, but simply witnessing it as it is right now. Perhaps your breath is shallow, rapid, or uneven. Maybe it is deep, slow, and steady. Whatever it is, accept it without judgment. Now, let us begin to deepen our connection with the breath. Take a slow, deliberate breath in through your nose, counting silently to 4 as you fill your lungs fully. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath gently at the top for a count of 2. 1, 2. Then exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing all the air fully, counting to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause briefly at the bottom of your exhale before beginning the next breath. Repeat this pattern several times, breathing in deeply for 4 counts, holding 2, and exhaling fully for 6. With each inhale, imagine drawing in calm, clarity, and fresh energy. With each exhale, release tension, distractions, and any lingering stress. As you settle into this rhythm, feel your body soften and your mind begin to quiet. If your thoughts drift, perhaps to worries, memories, or plans, simply notice them without judgment, like clouds passing across a blue sky. Then gently guide your attention back to your breath. Your breath is your anchor. It is your present moment, your constant friend. Now, shift your focus slightly to the sensations of your body as you breathe. Feel the rise and fall of your chest, or the gentle expansion and contraction of your belly. Notice how your rib cage expands with each inhale and softens with each exhale. Allow your awareness to spread to your entire body, from the crown of your head down to the tips of your toes. Feel the weight of your body resting on the chair, cushion, or floor. Notice any points of tension or discomfort and send your breath there, inviting those areas to relax. Imagine your breath as a gentle wave washing over you, soothing and calming every muscle, every nerve as your body relaxes. Your mind naturally follows. Feel yourself grounded in this moment, firmly connected to the here and now. This grounding presence creates a foundation for the inner work ahead. It helps you become a calm witness to your emotions and thoughts, observing without being swept away. Now, I invite you to deepen your breath once more. Inhale fully and slowly for a count of 4. Hold gently at the top for 2. Exhale for 6. Releasing fully with your next inhale, silently say to yourself, I am here. With your exhale, silently say, I am present. Repeat this silently with each breath cycle, allowing the phrases to anchor your attention and deepen your calm. If your mind wanders, return to these words and your breath without frustration. This meditation is practice, not perfection. Allow yourself to be exactly where you are. Feel the sensation of grounding. Feel the sense of presence. Notice any subtle shifts in your energy or mood. Perhaps a sense of spaciousness arises, or a gentle calmness, maybe a softness or lightness in your body or mind. Whatever you experience, welcome it. All feelings and sensations are part of this moment. Allow them to be without needing to change or fix. In Zen, presence means embracing reality as it is. This practice cultivates an open, receptive mind, ready for deeper insight and healing. Now, slowly begin to widen your awareness. Feel the sounds around you, the temperature of the air on your skin. Notice your body's contact points once again. When you are ready, gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch your arms or legs if it feels good, and softly open your eyes. Take a moment here to appreciate this calm, grounded state you have created. Know that this practice is always available to you at any time, in any place. Whenever life feels overwhelming or your mind restless, you can return to your breath and find presence once again. As we move forward on this journey of forgiveness and transformation, remember this grounding presence. It will be your anchor, your refuge, and your guide. Thank you for sharing this moment with yourself. In this segment, we explore a fundamental aspect of our emotional experience: how our reactions are often deeply rooted in attachment, and how cultivating awareness creates the possibility for choice, the space between stimulus and response, where true freedom lives. To begin, let's consider what we mean by emotional reactivity. Emotional reactivity refers to the automatic, often intense responses we have when something happens, a harsh word, a perceived slight, an unexpected loss. These reactions can be overwhelming, pulling us into feelings of anger, fear, sadness, or anxiety. When we speak of attachment in this context, we are referring to the mental and emotional clinging to people, outcomes, ideas, or identities. Attachment is natural. It arises from our desire to protect what we value: safety, love, security, and self-esteem. But attachment also binds us. When the things we are attached to are threatened, change, or disappear, we experience pain. Our mind resists loss and discomfort. This resistance fuels emotional reactivity. Imagine attachment as a rope tied tightly to an object. The more tightly we hold on, the harder it is to remain calm when the object shifts or slips away. The tighter the grip, the greater the struggle. In Zen, this dynamic is often described in terms of craving, tanha, and aversion. Craving is the attachment to pleasant experiences, people, or ideas, while aversion is the rejection or avoidance of unpleasant ones. Both craving and aversion create mental agitation and suffering. Understanding this is key to transforming emotional reactivity. When you notice yourself reacting strongly, perhaps a flash of anger or a wave of anxiety, pause, ask yourself, what am I attached to in this moment? What am I craving or resisting? Bringing this question into your awareness begins to loosen the grip of attachment. Awareness is the light that reveals these patterns. Once illuminated, they lose some of their power over you. This creates space, a brief pause between stimulus and response. In that pause lies choice. You can choose to react impulsively, driven by attachment, or you can choose a more mindful, skillful response. This is the essence of emotional control. It is not suppression or denial, but conscious presence. A practical way to cultivate this awareness is through mindful breathing. When you feel a strong emotion arising, bring your attention to your breath. Notice its quality. Is it shallow or deep, fast or slow? Let your breath be your anchor. By focusing on your breathing, you shift your attention from the emotional surge to a neutral point. This shift opens the space for conscious choice. Another helpful practice is labeling your emotions. For example, silently say to yourself, "This is anger," or "This is fear." Naming the emotion activates the prefrontal cortex, the rational part of the brain, helping to regulate the emotional response. It also creates distance between you and the feeling. You become the observer, not the overwhelmed participant in this way. Awareness acts as a bridge from reactivity to response. Let's reflect on the implications of attachment in relationships. Often, emotional reactions arise because we are attached to expectations, how others should behave, how situations should unfold. When reality does not match these expectations, pain arises. By recognizing this, you can gently soften expectations and embrace acceptance. This does not mean complacency or ignoring boundaries. It means cultivating flexibility and openness, reducing unnecessary suffering. Zen teachings encourage us to embrace impermanence, the truth that all things change. By internalizing this, attachment loosens and emotional reactivity diminishes. Remember the metaphor of the river. When you fight the current, you exhaust yourself. When you flow with it, you move with ease. Your emotional landscape is like that river. Attachment is the resistance. Awareness is the flow. As awareness grows, you become less reactive and more responsive. You gain clarity, patience, and compassion for yourself and others. In practical terms, this means that when difficult emotions arise, you can acknowledge them, understand their source, and choose how to act. For example, if anger arises because of a harsh comment, awareness allows you to pause, recognize your attachment to being treated kindly, and respond with calmness rather than lashing out. This does not mean denying your feelings, but honoring them with wisdom. Another important point is self-compassion. Often, our strongest attachments are to ideas about ourselves, our identity, self-worth, or past mistakes. When these are challenged, emotional reactivity can be intense. Practicing self-compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend, softens this attachment and opens the path to healing. In closing, cultivating awareness of emotional reactivity and attachment is a lifelong practice. It requires patience, kindness, and persistence. Each moment you bring mindful attention to your emotions, you strengthen your capacity for choice. You reclaim your freedom. You step more fully into the present, and you open the door to forgiveness for yourself and others. Take a moment now to breathe deeply and reflect. Where do you notice attachments that fuel emotional reactivity in your life? How might awareness create space for a new way of responding? Remember, the power to transform lies within you. Now that we've explored how emotional reactivity is rooted in attachment and how awareness creates space for choice, it's time to deepen our practice with a meditation focused on observing emotions as they arise without judgment or resistance. This mindful witnessing cultivates calm, clarity, and greater emotional freedom. Begin by finding a comfortable seated posture. Allow your spine to be tall and relaxed. Rest your hands gently in your lap or on your knees. Close your eyes softly, or lower your gaze if that feels better. Take a few slow, deep breaths. Inhale fully through your nose, filling your lungs. Pause briefly at the top of the breath. Exhale gently through your mouth, releasing tension. Let your body soften with each exhale as you settle. Bring your attention inward to your emotional landscape. Notice what feelings are present right now. You might sense tension, calm, sadness, joy, or perhaps a mixture of sensations. Whatever is here, allow it to be without trying to change it. Imagine yourself as a witness sitting beside a flowing river. Each emotion is like a leaf or twig drifting past on the surface of the water. Your role is simply to observe, to watch. These feelings float by without grasping, pushing, or judging. If you notice a strong emotion arise, perhaps anger, fear, or sadness, acknowledge it quietly. You might silently name it. Anger, fear, sadness. Naming helps to create space between you and the feeling. Remember, emotions are natural messengers. They bring information about your experience, but do not define you. If your mind begins to judge the emotions, thinking, "I shouldn't feel this," or "this is bad." Gently notice the judgment itself. Then bring your attention back to observing the emotion directly without adding labels of good or bad. Allow your breath to be your anchor. Each inhale welcomes whatever arises. Each exhale softens your hold on the emotion. Notice where you feel the emotion in your body. Perhaps a tightness in your chest, a flutter in your stomach, or a heaviness in your shoulders. Direct your breath gently to that area, inviting relaxation. If the emotion feels intense, remind yourself that it is temporary. Like waves on the ocean, emotions rise, crest, and eventually recede. You are the vast sky, wide open and unchanging. Beneath the changing weather, practice patience and kindness toward yourself as you sit with whatever comes up. There is no need to fix, analyze, or escape. With time, this mindful witnessing softens the grip of emotions and reveals the clarity beneath. You begin to see that emotions are part of your human experience, not obstacles to overcome. As you continue to observe, you may notice subtle shifts, a sense of calm, lightness, or spaciousness emerging naturally. This calm is not forced, but discovered through presence. Now, let your awareness expand to include your thoughts and sensations alongside your emotions. Observe the interplay without attachment. Return again and again to your breath when distractions arise. Let this practice be a refuge, a place of gentle acceptance. When you feel ready, slowly deepen your breath. Begin to bring small movements to your fingers and toes. Open your eyes softly. Take a moment to appreciate the clarity and calm you have cultivated. Know that this mindful witnessing of emotions is a powerful tool you can carry with you throughout your day. Whenever difficult feelings arise, you can pause, observe, and respond with wisdom instead of reaction. This is the path to greater emotional freedom and forgiveness. Let me share with you a beautiful parable from ancient wisdom, the story of the bamboo's flexibility. This story holds a profound lesson about emotional resilience, openness, and adaptability, qualities that nurture forgiveness and inner peace. Imagine a vast forest filled with towering trees. Some are sturdy oaks, others proud pines, each standing tall and firm. Among them grows bamboo, slender, green, and seemingly delicate. Yet, despite its slenderness, bamboo has a remarkable strength. One day, a fierce storm sweeps through the forest. Howling winds lash the trees, rain pours in torrents, and the earth trembles beneath the storm's fury. The mighty oaks stand rigid, their branches stiff and unyielding. Many of them break and fall, unable to withstand the storm's relentless force. The bamboo, however, bends and sways with the wind. It does not resist or fight the storm. Instead, it yields gracefully, bending low to the earth, but never breaking. When the storm passes, the bamboo stands tall once again, unharmed and resilient. This simple yet powerful story offers us a metaphor for emotional resilience. Like the rigid oak, we may sometimes resist difficult feelings, anger, hurt, disappointment, trying to hold our ground firmly, refusing to bend or soften. But this rigidity often leads to breakage, prolonged suffering, bitterness, or emotional burnout. The bamboo teaches us a different way to be flexible, to move with life's storms rather than against them, to allow emotions to flow through us, to yield without losing our integrity. This flexibility does not mean weakness or passivity. On the contrary, it is a dynamic strength, a willingness to be open, to adapt, and to respond with wisdom in the context of forgiveness. This parable invites us to cultivate an open heart and mind. When we hold tightly to grievances, we become rigid, vulnerable to breaking under the weight of resentment. But when we practice flexibility, we allow ourselves to bend with pain and disappointment. We create space for healing and transformation. Emotional resilience is born from this openness. It is the capacity to face challenges without being overwhelmed, to acknowledge pain without being defined by it, to move through difficult emotions with grace and courage. The bamboo's ability to sway with the storm parallels the mindful witnessing of emotions we practiced earlier when anger or sadness arises. Rather than resisting or suppressing, we meet these feelings with openness. We allow them to flow naturally, knowing they will pass like the storm. This flexibility nurtures forgiveness by loosening the grip of rigid judgments and fixed narratives. It helps us release the need to control or cling to how things should be. Instead, we embrace impermanence and uncertainty as part of life's unfolding. Consider how this parable applies to your own experiences. Where might you be holding rigidly to pain or expectations? Where could you practice bending with life's challenges, softening your heart and allowing healing? The bamboo's example is a call to cultivate patience, acceptance, and adaptability. These qualities strengthen your emotional foundation, preparing you to forgive not as a single act, but as an ongoing practice. As you reflect on this story, imagine yourself as the bamboo. Visualize your spine, flexible yet strong, your heart open and soft. Breathe in the wisdom of yielding. Breathe out rigidity and resistance. Know that like bamboo, you possess the strength to endure life's storms and the grace to rise again, renewed and whole. In this segment, we explore one of the most powerful forces shaping our daily lives, the cycle of habit formation. Understanding how habits develop from repeated emotional responses and automatic behaviors is key to breaking free from harmful patterns and cultivating lasting change. Habits are the routines and behaviors that we perform automatically, often without conscious thought. They are the brain's way of conserving energy by creating shortcuts, so we don't have to deliberate over every action. Imagine waking up and brushing your teeth, making coffee, or getting dressed. Most likely, these actions unfold with little conscious effort. They are habits. Habits are formed through repetition. When an action is repeated in a consistent context, the neural pathways in our brain strengthen, making the behavior more automatic. But habits are not only physical behaviors, they also include emotional and mental patterns. For example, when faced with stress, some people habitually react with anger, anxiety, or avoidance. These emotional responses become ingrained habits over time. This cycle begins with a trigger, an event, thought, or feeling that prompts a response. For instance, you might receive a critical comment trigger, feel a surge of frustration or hurt emotional response, and then lash out or withdraw behavior. If this pattern repeats often, your brain begins to anticipate the response and reinforces the habit. The more the habit is repeated, the harder it becomes to break. Importantly, habits are neither inherently good nor bad, they simply are. Some habits serve us well, like exercising regularly or practicing gratitude. Others may cause harm, or limit our potential, such as chronic worry, self-criticism, or reactive anger. Awareness is the key to breaking the cycle. When you become mindful of your triggers, emotional responses, and behaviors, you create a space between stimulus and reaction. This space is where choice emerges. Instead of automatically reacting, you can pause, observe, and select a more skillful response in the context of forgiveness and emotional control. This means recognizing when old emotional patterns arise and gently shifting your response. For example, if anger tends to arise when you feel misunderstood, awareness allows you to notice this pattern and choose to breathe, reflect, or communicate calmly instead of reacting impulsively. Changing habits requires patience and persistence. It's helpful to start small, focusing on one pattern at a time. Use reminders, journaling, or support from others to reinforce new responses. Celebrate progress, even if it's gradual. Remember, breaking a habit is not about willpower alone, but about rewiring your brain through consistent mindful practice. Zen teachings encourage us to approach this process without judgment or harshness. View yourself with compassion, understanding that habits are learned and can be unlearned. Use meditation and mindfulness to cultivate present moment awareness and develop the ability to observe your thoughts and feelings without being controlled by them. Over time, this practice transforms reactive habits into conscious choices. You gain freedom from automatic emotional patterns and open the door to forgiveness, healing, and growth. Reflect now on your own habits. What emotional responses and behaviors arise automatically in challenging situations? Where might awareness and patience create opportunities for change? Know that each moment offers a chance to begin anew. With dedication and kindness toward yourself, you can reshape your habits and reclaim your power. Begin by finding a comfortable seated position. Allow your spine to be tall yet relaxed. You can sit cross-legged on a cushion, on a chair, with your feet grounded, or even lie down if that feels best. Rest your hands softly in your lap or on your knees. Close your eyes gently, or if you prefer, lower your gaze to soften visual distractions. Take a deep, slow breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely. Hold the breath briefly at the top, then exhale fully through your mouth, letting go of any tension you might be carrying. Repeat this deep breath 2 more times, feeling your body soften with each exhale, inviting calm into your space. Now, bring your attention inward, turning your focus to your body as a whole. Begin a slow, gentle scan from the crown of your head, down through your neck and shoulders, along your arms, chest, and back, continuing down through your torso, hips, legs, and feet as you scan. Notice any areas that feel tight, heavy, numb, or uncomfortable. These sensations may be familiar or new. Wherever you find tension or discomfort, pause your attention there. Simply observe without judgment or the need to change anything. Imagine your breath flowing into these places of tension. As you inhale, visualize fresh, soothing energy traveling to that spot. As you exhale, imagine releasing the tightness, letting it soften or loosen just a little. Even a small shift can bring relief. Sometimes habitual tension feels like a coil or knot, a place where the body holds onto stress or old emotional pain. By breathing gently into these areas, you begin to unravel those knots, inviting ease. As you continue this scan, also pay attention to your posture. Are you slouching? Is your head jutting forward? Are your shoulders hunched or lifted toward your ears? Notice these habitual postural patterns as they reveal how your body carries tension. Throughout the day now, bring awareness to your breath itself. Notice its natural rhythm. Is it shallow or deep, fast or slow, perhaps uneven or smooth? Your breath often mirrors your emotional state. Shallow, rapid breathing may accompany stress or anxiety, while slow, deep breaths often signal calm and relaxation. Notice if your breath is held or restricted in any way. Perhaps you unconsciously hold your breath when experiencing difficult feelings or when concentrating intensely. With each inhale, invite your breath to become a gentle wave, flowing fully and freely. With each exhale, let go of any tightness or holding. You might silently say to yourself, breathing in, I feel my body. Breathing out, I release tension. This gentle mantra can help keep your attention rooted in the present moment. As you deepen your awareness, you may begin to notice not only physical sensations, but also accompanying emotions, perhaps anxiety, frustration, sadness, or even joy and peace. Allow these feelings to be present without trying to push them away or hold on to them. Like clouds passing across the sky, emotions come and go. You are the open sky, vast and unchanging beneath the shifting weather. If strong emotions arise, acknowledge them softly. You can silently name the feeling. This is anger, or this is sadness. Naming your emotions can create a helpful distance, allowing you to observe rather than become overwhelmed. Notice how your body responds when emotions arise. Do your shoulders tense? Does your jaw clench? Does your stomach feel tight? Observe these connections between body and emotion with gentle curiosity. Now, reflect on how these habitual patterns might influence your daily reactions. Perhaps you tend to hold your breath when stressed, leading to a pounding heart or headaches. Maybe you clench your jaw when anxious, causing discomfort or fatigue. These habitual physical responses often link closely with emotional habits, like reacting with impatience when frustrated or withdrawing when feeling hurt. Bringing mindful attention to these patterns is the first step toward creating space, a pause between stimulus and response. In that pause, you gain the freedom to choose how to respond rather than reacting automatically. Imagine you are an explorer, gently mapping the terrain of your inner world. Each discovery of tension or reaction is valuable information that can guide you toward greater ease and peace. If you notice your mind wandering, gently bring it back to the sensations of your body and the rhythm of your breath. This returning is part of the practice, a way to strengthen your presence and awareness. Take a moment now to scan your body once more, noticing any habitual tension or patterns that stand out. Where do you carry stress? How does your breath feel in those areas? What emotions arise when you attend to these sensations? With each breath, invite kindness and patience toward yourself. There is no right or wrong way to feel or to carry your body. This practice is about gentle discovery and compassionate presence. As we come toward the end of this meditation, deepen your breath once again. Inhale fully, feeling energy and calm entering your body. Exhale fully, Releasing any residual tension, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, gently awakening your body. Stretch your arms or legs if it feels good. When you feel ready, softly open your eyes. Take a moment to notice how you feel now compared to before the meditation. Perhaps there is a new sense of calm, clarity, or spacious. Know that by regularly practicing this mindful noticing of habitual patterns, you nurture the conditions for emotional healing and forgiveness. Each time you become aware of tension or reactivity, you create an opportunity for change. You cultivate the freedom to respond with wisdom rather than react out of habit. Carry this awareness with you as you move through your day. Remember, transformation begins with noticing, with simple, kind attention to what is. Thank you for dedicating this time to your inner journey. Let me take you now into the heart of a timeless Zen parable, the story of the stonecutter's transformation. This tale, passed down through generations, carries a profound message about acceptance, the nature of change, and the deep transformation that comes when we embrace the flow of life rather than resisting it. Once, in a humble village nestled among towering mountains and flowing rivers, lived a stonecutter. Day after day, he toiled under the sun, his hands rough and steady, chipping away at stones, shaping them into building blocks for homes, temples, and bridges. His work was honest and necessary, yet inside, he often felt a restless yearning. Though he was skilled and diligent, he was dissatisfied. He longed for power, for influence, for a life beyond the limitations of his simple trade. One clear morning, as he rested during a brief pause in his work, he looked up at the towering mountain that loomed above the village. The mountain was vast and majestic, its peaks piercing the sky, its sides unyielding and ancient. The stonecutter gazed with awe and a pang of envy. Oh, to be as powerful as that mountain, he thought, to stand tall and unmovable, respected by all, then I would be truly strong and free. Little did he know that a spirit of the mountain, invisible yet present, was listening to his wish. With a gentle nod, the spirit granted the stonecutter's desire in an instant. The stonecutter was transformed into the mighty mountain. He felt the earth solid beneath him and the endless sky above. He was immense, unshakable, commanding reverence from all living beings. For a time, he basked in his newfound strength and majesty, standing proud against the changing seasons. But life, as it always does, continued to unfold. One day, a powerful storm rolled in, dark clouds swirling, fierce winds howling through the valleys. The wind whipped around the mountain's face with wild force. Despite the mountain's immensity, the wind battered him relentlessly. The mountain realized something humbling. The wind, though invisible and intangible, had the power to shape him. The wind is stronger than I thought, the mountain. I wish I were the wind, free, powerful, able to move through the world without restriction. Again, the spirit granted the wish. Suddenly, the stonecutter became the wind, wild and untethered. He surged through forests and across rivers, able to uproot trees and sculpt valleys. He felt exhilarating freedom, blowing where he pleased, and shaping the world with his breath. Yet even the wind has its limits. Soon, the wind encountered a great wall, solid and unmoving. The wall stood firm, resisting the wind's force. The wind realized, the wall is stronger than I am. No matter how hard I blow, it does not move. I wish I were the wall, thought the wind. Then I would be unbreakable once more. The spirit transformed him into the sturdy wall, strong, reliable, and steadfast against storms and time. The stonecutter now, wall stood proudly, feeling invincible. But the wall too faced a challenge. One day, a humble stonecutter arrived, chipping away steadily at the wall's surface with his hammer and chisel. The wall understood. The stonecutter was stronger. You, the stonecutter, have power over me, thought the wall. A new yearning arose in the stonecutter's heart. He realized the futility of chasing strength through forms and appearances. The endless transformations left him restless, never truly satisfied. He longed to return to his original self, to find contentment in acceptance. With this acceptance, the spirit restored him to the simple stonecutter he had always been. Though small and ordinary, the stonecutter was finally at peace. This parable, simple yet profound, reflects fundamental Zen teachings about the nature of desire, impermanence, and true power at its core. The stonecutter's restless transformations symbolize the human tendency to seek power, security, or happiness in external things, status, control, or permanence. Each new form, while offering a fleeting sense of strength, reveals its own vulnerabilities. Mountains can be eroded, winds can be blocked, walls can be chipped away. No form or identity is permanent or invulnerable. The stonecutter's journey teaches us that true strength arises not from resisting change or grasping for permanence, but from embracing impermanence, the constant flow and transformation that is the essence of life. When we resist change, we suffer. When we accept it, we find freedom. This acceptance is not passive resignation. Rather, it is an active, courageous embracing of reality as it is in the context of forgiveness and emotional healing. The stonecutter story invites us to accept our feelings and experiences fully, the joy, the pain, the longing, the loss, rather than denying or fighting difficult emotions. We learn to hold them with openness. Through this acceptance, transformation happens naturally. The stonecutter's final return to himself symbolizes the deep peace and contentment found when we stop chasing illusions of control and power, and instead ground ourselves in presence and acceptance. In practical terms, this means allowing your emotions to be as they are, without clinging or resistance. It means recognizing that all experiences are temporary, constantly changing, like the forms the stonecutter assumed. Through mindfulness and forgiveness, you cultivate resilience, the ability to bend with life's storms and rise renewed. Take a moment now to reflect. Where in your life are you resisting change? What desires or attachments cause restlessness or dissatisfaction? How might acceptance, like the stonecutters, open the door to transformation and peace? Remember, the power to be free lies not in becoming something else, but in being fully present with who you are. Like the stonecutter, your true strength is in embracing the flow of life with courage, openness, and grace. As we journey further into understanding our emotional landscape, an essential skill to cultivate is mindful awareness of triggers. Those moments when emotions arise, often unexpectedly, leading us toward reaction. This teaching will guide you through recognizing your emotional triggers early and responding with wisdom and skill, rather than automatic reactivity. First, what is an emotional trigger? It's a stimulus, external or internal, that evokes a strong emotional response. It might be a word someone says, a tone of voice, a memory, or even a physical sensation. These triggers can provoke anger, fear, sadness, or anxiety, often catching us off guard. Understanding your triggers is a powerful step toward emotional mastery. When triggers go unnoticed, they activate automatic, habitual reactions that may cause harm to ourselves or others. However, when we become aware of these triggers, we create a pause, a space where conscious choice becomes possible. The first step in cultivating this awareness is paying close attention to your internal experience. Begin to notice the subtle signs that an emotional trigger is approaching. Perhaps your heart rate quickens, your breathing becomes shallow, or you feel tension building in your body. You may notice a rush of thoughts, memories, or judgments arising. These sensations are signals, your body and mind alerting you that you are entering a reactive state. Developing this awareness requires patience and practice. Mindfulness meditation is an excellent tool to build this skill by regularly practicing mindful attention to your breath, body, and thoughts. You strengthen your ability to observe emotional shifts as they happen in daily life. This means tuning in to early signs of emotional activation before full-blown reaction occurs. When you detect these early signs, you can choose to pause. Pause your thoughts, your breath, your actions. Take a deep breath, grounding yourself in the present moment. This pause is your power. It allows you to step out of the automatic reaction and into conscious response. Once paused, reflect on the trigger itself. Ask yourself, what is really happening here? What am I feeling? What need or fear lies beneath this emotion? By exploring these questions with curiosity rather than judgment, you cultivate compassion for yourself and greater understanding of your emotional patterns. This deeper insight weakens the grip of the trigger's power. You may realize, for example, that anger arises because you feel unheard or disrespected. Recognizing this allows you to address the root cause more skillfully, perhaps by expressing your feelings calmly or setting healthy boundaries. Another important aspect is self-compassion. Emotional triggers often point to vulnerable parts of ourselves. Instead of criticizing yourself for reacting, offer kindness and understanding. Remind yourself that everyone experiences triggers and that learning to respond skillfully is a process over time. As you develop mindful awareness of your triggers, you gain greater emotional resilience. You become less controlled by old patterns and more free to choose your responses. This empowers your relationships, your well-being, and your journey toward forgiveness. To support this process, it can be helpful to keep a journal. Note moments when you felt triggered, what the situation was, your physical sensations, thoughts, and how you responded. Reviewing these notes fosters deeper self-awareness and highlights patterns you might want to change. In addition, seek support from trusted friends, mentors, or therapists who can offer perspective and guidance. Remember, cultivating mindful awareness of triggers is a lifelong practice. There will be setbacks and successes. Be patient and gentle with yourself. Celebrate your growing capacity to meet life's challenges with clarity and grace. Let this teaching inspire you to see triggers not as enemies, but as invitations to greater self-understanding and freedom. Each time you recognize a trigger and respond mindfully, you plant seeds of healing that will blossom in time. A powerful practice designed to help you cultivate a vital space, a pause between the moment a stimulus arises and the moment you respond. This pause is a profound gift, one that opens the door from automatic reaction into conscious, mindful choice. It is the foundation of emotional mastery, clarity, peace, and forgiveness. As you begin, find a comfortable posture that feels steady yet relaxed. Whether you are sitting cross-legged on a cushion, in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, or lying down, ensure that your body is supported and at ease. Let your hands rest gently in your lap or by your sides. Close your eyes softly, or if you prefer, lower your gaze so your visual attention softens. Now, take a deep, slow breath in through your nose. Fill your lungs completely. Feel your belly expand, your chest rise. Hold the breath gently at the top, savoring the fullness. Exhale fully through your mouth, releasing any tension or tightness you may be holding. Repeat this 2 more times, each time allowing your body to soften further, your mind to settle. Bring your awareness now to the natural rhythm of your breath, the way air flows in and out effortlessly. Notice the coolness as you inhale, the subtle warmth as you exhale. Your breath is your anchor in the present moment. Allow yourself to rest here, fully present with your breathing, as we prepare to cultivate the pause, that sacred space of choice. As you breathe, bring to mind a situation that typically triggers an emotional reaction for you. It might be an interaction with a difficult person, a stressful event, or a moment when you feel overwhelmed. Visualize the scene as clearly as you can. Picture the people, the place, the sounds, the words spoken. Notice the stimulus, the trigger that sparks your emotional response. Perhaps it is a harsh word, a dismissive tone, a criticism, or an unexpected demand. Feel how this stimulus lands within you now. Pay close attention to the immediate reaction inside you. Notice the emotional surge, anger, fear, frustration, or sadness. Observe the physical sensations accompanying it. Maybe a tightening in your chest, a knot in your stomach, a rapid heartbeat, or shallow breathing. Become the curious observer of these sensations without judgment. You do not need to change or push them away. Simply notice. Imagine now that between this stimulus and your usual reaction, the impulse to speak sharply, withdraw, or react impulsively, there exists a small, glowing space. This is the pause, the gap where your true power lies. With your next breath, invite this pause to expand within you. Visualize it as a calm, clear room inside your mind, a sanctuary of stillness and choice. Each inhale fills this room with light and calm. Each exhale releases tension and reactivity. Silently repeat to yourself, I create space. I choose my response. Feel the meaning of these words settle deeply into your being. Know that you are not powerless in the face of triggers. You have the ability to step back, to observe, to breathe, and to respond with wisdom. Rest here a moment. In this spaciousness, allow your mind to quiet and your body to soften. If intrusive thoughts arise, welcome them kindly and gently return your focus to the breath and the pause. Now, imagine yourself fully embodying this pause. You are no longer a victim of impulsive reactions. Instead, you are the master of your responses. You breathe in calm. You breathe out tension. You observe without judgment from this space. You respond skillfully with kindness, clarity, or silence, depending on what the moment calls for. Picture a challenging situation again, but this time see yourself responding from the place of pause. Notice how the energy shifts, how the tension softens, how the possibility of forgiveness and understanding grows. Reflect now on the power of this pause in your daily life. How often might you give yourself this space before responding? How might your relationships deepen and your inner peace expand by practicing this pause? Understand that cultivating this pause is a practice, one that requires patience and compassion. You may find it difficult at first to notice the early signs of reactivity. The mind may wander. The emotions may feel overwhelming. That is natural. Each time you return to your breath and the pause, you strengthen this vital muscle of awareness. Let us deepen this practice now with a guided breath and body awareness sequence. Bring your attention to your feet. Feel the points of contact with the ground or floor. Breathe in to your feet, filling them with calm energy. Breathe out to release tension. Slowly move your attention up through your legs, your hips, your torso, your chest. With each inhale, invite relaxation. With each exhale, soften any tightness. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your belly with your breath. Expand your awareness to your shoulders, neck, jaw, and face. Soften your jaw. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Relax your forehead and around your eyes. Allow your entire body to settle deeply into this moment. Return your attention once again to your breath. Breathe in calm. Breathe out tension. Silently affirm, I am present. Now, imagine the pause as a protective bubble around you, a safe space where you can meet whatever arises with openness. Inside this bubble, you are free to feel without being overwhelmed. You are free to choose your response. Allow this image to fill your mind. Feel the security and power it brings as you breathe. Know that this bubble expands beyond you touching your mind, your heart, and your actions. It spreads into your relationships and your daily interactions. Each moment you pause before responding, you nurture peace, you cultivate forgiveness. For yourself and others, begin to prepare to return your awareness to the room around you. Feel the surface supporting your body. Notice any sounds or smells. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch your arms or legs if you wish. When you feel ready, softly open your eyes. Take a moment to appreciate the calm, clarity, and strength you have cultivated through this practice. Remember, the pause is always available to you. Whenever you feel stirred by a trigger, return to your breath. Create space. Choose. Consciously know that each time you do this, you build a foundation for freedom and peace. Thank you for dedicating this time to your inner growth. There is a timeless story in Zen tradition, one that carries a simple yet profound message about openness, humility, and the readiness to receive healing and new wisdom. It is the story known as the empty cup. Once, there was a learned professor who was deeply knowledgeable about many subjects: philosophy, religion, psychology, and more. This professor had spent a lifetime accumulating knowledge, building a reputation as an expert in his field. He had answers to many questions and firmly held beliefs about life, suffering, and healing. One day, the professor visited a revered Zen master seeking guidance. He wanted to understand the secret to true peace and freedom, the kind that seemed to elude him. Despite his vast intellect, the Zen master invited the professor to sit down and offered him a cup of tea. As the master began pouring the tea, the cup quickly filled. But instead of stopping, the master continued to pour. The tea overflowed, spilling down the sides, wetting the table. The professor watched in surprise and said, "Master, the cup is full. No more tea can fit." The master smiled gently and replied, "Exactly. Like this cup, your mind is full of your own opinions and judgments. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" This simple exchange reveals the essence of the beginner's mind, a mind open, receptive, and free from preconceptions. The professor, with all his knowledge and experience, had become a full cup. His mind was so filled with what he already knew that there was little room left for new insight or healing. In our own lives, we often carry similar full cups. We hold tightly to old narratives, beliefs, and stories about ourselves, others, and how things must be. These mental frameworks can limit us, keeping us stuck in patterns of suffering. When we cling to past hurts, resentment, or rigid ways of seeing the world, we close ourselves off from the possibility of forgiveness and transformation. The story of the empty cup teaches us that healing begins with letting go, with making space. When we release the old stories, we create room for new understanding and growth. The beginner's mind embraces curiosity and humility. It says, "I don't know everything. I am willing to learn. I am open." This openness is the fertile ground where forgiveness can take root. Imagine your mind as that cup. What beliefs, judgments, or resentments fill it to the brim? What might overflow, spilling into your heart and mind as pain or resistance? Now imagine setting that cup down and allowing it to empty, the old stories draining away. Feel the space that is left behind, vast, open, ready to receive. Practicing beginner's mind means approaching yourself and your experiences with fresh eyes, as if encountering them for the very first time. It means suspending judgment and allowing yourself to be surprised. It means welcoming uncertainty as an invitation rather than a threat. In meditation and mindfulness, cultivating beginners, mind helps you observe your thoughts and emotions without attachment. You learn to watch feelings arise and pass like clouds, rather than identifying with them or being controlled by them. This practice softens rigid patterns and opens pathways to healing. Forgiveness flows naturally when we can release the heavy load of certainty and open to possibility. As you reflect on this story, consider areas in your life where your mind may be full, places where you hold onto old narratives that block peace and healing. Can you gently begin to empty your cup there? Can you invite beginner's mind into your heart? Beginner's mind is not a destination, but a practice, a daily return to openness, curiosity, and humility. With this mindset, even the most challenging experiences become teachers. You become more flexible, more compassionate, and more free. Take a moment now to breathe deeply and imagine your own cup with each inhale. Breathe in openness with each exhale. Release old judgments and stories. Feel the freshness of beginner's mind filling. You know that by emptying your cup, you prepare yourself to receive healing, forgiveness, and transformation. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as something we do for others, a gracious gift bestowed upon those who have wronged us. But the deeper truth, echoed through spiritual traditions, including Zen, Buddhism, and psychology, is that forgiveness is, above all, an act of self-liberation. It is a profound healing for the forgiver, freeing the heart and mind from the corrosive weight of resentment, anger, and pain. Let's explore this idea carefully and in depth. When someone harms us, whether through words, actions, or neglect, the natural response is often pain, hurt, and anger. These feelings are real and valid. They arise as a protective response, a signal that our boundaries have been crossed, that we have been wounded. Holding on to these feelings can feel justified, even necessary. But what happens when we continue to carry that pain within us? When we cling to resentment or bitterness, the answer is that the wound often remains open, festering, and poisoning our own well-being. The person who suffers most from unforgiveness is frequently the one who refuses to forgive. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents a grudge, an insult, a painful memory. Over time, this load becomes exhausting. It restricts your movement, your joy, and your peace. Forgiveness is the act of setting down that backpack. It does not mean forgetting the stones or pretending they never existed. It means choosing to no longer carry them. This is the heart of self-liberation through forgiveness. It is a gift you give yourself, allowing your energy and attention to return to healing and growth rather than pain. Scientific research supports this understanding. Studies show that forgiveness is linked with reduced stress, lower blood pressure, improved mental health, and greater emotional well-being. People who forgive experience less depression, anxiety, and hostility. Forgiveness helps restore inner harmony and frees cognitive resources previously occupied by rumination and anger. Spiritually, forgiveness dissolves the walls we build around our hearts. It breaks the chains of past wounds that imprison us in cycles of suffering. In Zen teachings, forgiveness aligns with compassion, first for oneself and then extending outward. When you forgive, you recognize your own shared humanity and vulnerability. You acknowledge that everyone makes mistakes and carries wounds. Forgiveness is an act of radical empathy and release. This liberation is not always easy. Forgiveness can feel counterintuitive, especially when the harm was severe or repeated. It may take time, reflection, and practice sometimes. Forgiveness begins with forgiving yourself for your own perceived failings or for the pain you feel. Self-forgiveness is often the gateway to forgiving others. To cultivate forgiveness as self-liberation, start by recognizing how holding on to anger affects you personally. Notice how resentment influences your mood, your health, and your relationships. Allow yourself to feel the desire for freedom. Use mindfulness to observe your feelings without judgment. Practice breathing into your pain, inviting softness and space. Reflect on the possibility that forgiveness is a choice you make, not to condone the wrong, but to reclaim your peace. Imagine what your life could be like without the burden of bitterness. How much lighter, freer, and more joyful might you feel? Let this vision inspire your practice. Each small step toward forgiveness is a victory for your soul. You might begin with simple affirmations. I choose to forgive for my own peace, or I release what no longer serves me. Remember, forgiveness does not require forgetting or reconciliation. It is about healing your own heart. In doing so, you transform your inner world and open yourself to deeper happiness and freedom. Take a moment now to breathe deeply. Feel your heart expanding with the possibility of liberation. Know that forgiveness is a path you walk for yourself. It is the ultimate act of self-care and healing, focused on opening the heart through compassion, beginning with yourself and gently expanding outward to encompass others. This loving kindness meditation cultivates warmth, empathy, and forgiveness, nurturing a profound sense of connection and peace. Find a comfortable, supported posture, sitting upright or lying down, whatever feels best. Allow your body to relax, but keep a gentle alertness in your mind. Rest your hands softly on your lap or by your sides. Close your eyes gently or soften your gaze downward. Begin by tuning into your breath. Notice the natural rhythm of inhalation and exhalation. No need to control it, just observe. Feel the life force moving in and out, anchoring you in the present moment. Take a few deep breaths, inhaling calm, peace, and openness. Exhale tension, stress, or any resistance you may be holding. With each breath, allow your body and mind to soften more deeply. Bring your attention now to your heart center, the area around your chest, where your breath feels most vivid. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. Imagine a warm, glowing light radiating from your heart space. This light is the energy of compassion, gentle, soothing, healing. With each inhale, see this light growing brighter and warmer. With each exhale, feel it spreading through your body, filling you with warmth and kindness. Now, silently repeat to yourself these loving kindness phrases, allowing their meaning to resonate deeply. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May I live with ease. Say these phrases slowly and with feeling, as if speaking to a beloved friend. If feelings of resistance, doubt, or discomfort arise, notice them without judgment. It's natural. Gently return your focus to the phrases and your warm heart light. Feel your heart opening with each repetition, embracing yourself fully, your strengths, weaknesses, joys, and sorrows. Know that you are worthy of compassion and kindness, just as you are. Take a few moments to sit with this self-compassion, letting it soak into your being. Notice how it feels in your body, mind, and spirit. As you feel your own heart opening, prepare now to extend this loving kindness outward. First, to someone close to you. Bring to mind a person you care about deeply, a friend, family member, or mentor. Visualize them clearly before you. See them happy, healthy, and safe. Feel your heart's warmth extending toward them. Silently repeat these phrases directed toward this person. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. Allow your feelings of kindness and goodwill to flow freely toward them. If you notice any resistance, simply acknowledge it and return to your intention of loving-kindness. Now, expand your compassion further to someone neutral, perhaps an acquaintance or a person you see regularly but don't know well. Visualize this person clearly. Send them warmth and goodwill. Repeat the phrases, may you be safe, may you be healthy, may you be happy, may you live with ease. Feel the heart light expanding beyond your immediate circle. Next, bring to mind someone with whom you have difficulty, perhaps someone you struggle to forgive or understand. Visualize this person, recognizing the challenges you face with them. Despite any pain or conflict, offer them the same phrases of loving kindness. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. Allow yourself to feel whatever arises, whether resistance, sadness, or softness. This is a courageous step, opening your heart even toward those who have hurt you. Know that extending compassion is an act of strength and healing for you and for them. Finally, broaden your loving kindness to encompass all beings, those near and far, known and unknown. Imagine your heart light expanding outward infinitely, touching all life. Silently repeat, may all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. May all beings live with ease. Sit for a moment in this boundless field of compassion. Feel the interconnectedness of all life and your place within it. Breathe in this shared humanity and breathe out loving kindness to the world. As we begin to close this meditation, return your attention gently to your own heart. Feel the warmth and compassion you have cultivated within yourself. Silently affirm, may I carry this compassion with me always. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring gentle movement back to your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch your arms and legs if you like. When you are ready, softly open your eyes. Take a moment to notice the peacefulness and openness in your heart. Know that this compassion is always available to you. With practice, loving kindness will grow naturally, transforming your relationships and your inner world. Thank you for sharing this meditation. May your heart continue to open and your compassion deepen, bringing healing and peace to yourself and others. In the heart of Zen teachings lies a profound metaphor that illuminates the nature of suffering and the path to freedom, the story of the two arrows. This parable teaches us how the suffering we endure is often doubled, not merely from the pain itself, but from our resistance and aversion to it. Imagine a person struck suddenly by an arrow. The arrow pierces the flesh, causing immediate pain and injury. This is the first arrow, the unavoidable, natural pain of life. It could be physical pain, loss, disappointment, or any form of hardship. Now imagine that same person, upon feeling the pain, picking up a second arrow and shooting it into their own body. This second arrow represents the suffering we add on through our resistance, the anger, fear, denial, blame, and self-judgment that arise in response to pain. The first arrow is often unavoidable. Pain and difficulty are part of the human condition. The second arrow, however, is optional. It is a mental and emotional reaction that intensifies and prolongs suffering in this story. The Zen master teaches that while we cannot always avoid the first arrow, the pain life brings, we can choose not to shoot the second arrow. This choice is the beginning of liberation. Consider moments in your own life when you experienced pain, a loss, a disappointment, a physical illness. Reflect on how your response may have added layers of suffering. Perhaps you ruminated or felt resentment toward others or yourself. This mental anguish is the second arrow, deepening your suffering beyond the initial pain. The teaching encourages us to observe our reactions with mindful awareness. When the first arrow strikes, we feel pain. When the second arrow looms, we recognize the urge to resist or deny. By cultivating presence and acceptance, we learn to hold the pain without adding suffering. Acceptance does not mean passivity or giving up. It means acknowledging reality as it is. With openness and compassion, this mindful acceptance softens the grip of the second arrow, easing suffering. Practicing this in daily life requires patience and courage. When painful emotions arise, breathe deeply. Observe the sensations without judgment. Remind yourself, this is pain. I can be with it without adding suffering. Through this practice, the intensity of suffering diminishes. We create space for healing, understanding, and peace. The story of the two arrows invites us to become conscious of our habitual resistance. We see how our minds often create suffering beyond what the situation demands. By choosing not to shoot the second arrow, we reclaim freedom and cultivate resilience. Reflect now on this teaching. How often do you add the second arrow to your pain? What might it be like to hold your suffering with acceptance rather than resistance? Remember, pain may be inevitable, but additional suffering is a choice. With mindful practice, you can learn to avoid the second arrow. This wisdom is a powerful step on the path of forgiveness, healing, and peace. Take a moment to breathe deeply and absorb this teaching. Know that through awareness and acceptance, you can transform your experience of suffering into a path of liberation. Resentment and grudges are heavy burdens we carry within our hearts and minds. They weigh us down, cloud our clarity, and limit our ability to experience peace and joy. Yet, letting go of these deeply rooted feelings can seem incredibly difficult, sometimes even impossible. This teaching segment explores practical insights into releasing resentment and grudges, guiding you toward emotional freedom and healing. Understanding resentment and grudges. Resentment is an emotional response to perceived injustice or harm. It often festers when we feel wronged, ignored, or hurt, especially when the pain feels unresolved. A grudge is the sustained holding onto that resentment over time, allowing it to harden into bitterness. While it is natural to feel hurt or angry in response to wrongdoing, holding on to resentment long-term can have detrimental effects on your emotional and physical well-being. Research links chronic resentment to increased stress, anxiety, depression, and even physical ailments such as high blood pressure and weakened immune function. Moreover, resentment distorts our perceptions. It can cause us to view others and situations through a lens of suspicion, mistrust, and anger, limiting our ability to connect authentically and compassionately. Why we hold on to resentment. One reason resentment persists is because it feels like a way to protect ourselves. Holding on to anger can create a false sense of control, a belief that by not forgiving or forgetting, we are safeguarding our dignity or preventing further harm. Resentment may also serve as a way to punish the person who hurt us. We may tell ourselves that by holding a grudge, we are asserting justice or moral superiority. However, this protective mechanism often backfires, trapping us in cycles of suffering. The pain lingers inside us, unseen and unresolved, silently poisoning our peace. Practical insights for letting go of resentment is a process, often gradual and requiring patience and self-compassion. Here are some practical steps and insights to support this journey. 1. Acknowledge your feelings. Start by honestly acknowledging the resentment and hurt within you. Pretending everything is fine or suppressing feelings only delays healing. Allow yourself to feel the pain fully, without judgment. You might say internally, I see this hurt in me. It is real and valid. Honoring your emotions is a vital step toward release. To reflect on the impact, consider how holding on to resentment affects you personally. How does it influence your mood, health, relationships, and daily experience? Sometimes recognizing the heavy toll resentment takes on your own well-being can motivate you to let it go. You deserve peace more than the illusion of control. Resentment offers. 3. Shift perspective. Try to see the situation from different angles. This does not mean excusing harmful behavior, but exploring the broader context. Perhaps the person who hurt you acted from fear, ignorance, or their own pain. Recognizing the shared humanity in others can soften hardened feelings. This shift opens the door to compassion for practice. Forgiveness, as release. Forgiveness is a conscious choice to release the hold resentment has on you. It doesn't mean condoning wrongdoing or forgetting pain. It means choosing freedom for yourself. You might practice silently repeating phrases such as, I choose to let go for my own peace. I release this grudge and embrace healing. 5. Cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness meditation helps develop awareness of resentful thoughts as they arise. By observing these thoughts without attachment, you weaken their power. You learn to respond with calm rather than react impulsively. Over time, this practice dissolves the habitual clinging to resentment. 6. Set boundaries. If needed, letting go of resentment doesn't require tolerating abuse or harmful situations. It's important to set healthy boundaries to protect your well-being. Forgiveness and boundaries can coexist. 7. Seek support. Sometimes talking with trusted friends, mentors, or therapists can help process resentment. Sharing your feelings reduces isolation and provides perspective. Professional guidance can offer tools tailored to your situation. 8. Embrace self-compassion. Resentment intertwines with self-blame or shame. Be gentle with yourself. Forgive your own perceived mistakes and limitations. Self-compassion strengthens emotional resilience. The freedom of release. Imagine the relief of setting down a heavy backpack filled with stones you've carried for years. Each stone represents a grudge or resentment. As you release one by one, your steps grow lighter. Your heart feels more open. Your mind clearer. Emotional freedom is the gift you give yourself through letting go. This freedom allows joy, love, and peace to flourish in your life. Letting go of resentment is not a sign of weakness, but a profound act of strength and courage. It is a declaration that your well-being matters, your peace matters. You deserve to be free. Begin today with small steps. Honor your feelings, reflect on their impact. Practice forgiveness and mindfulness. Set boundaries. Seek support. Be kind to yourself. Each step brings you closer to healing, to peace, to freedom. This meditation designed to help you gently release emotional burdens, the heavy weights of resentment, bitterness, and pain that can weigh down your heart and cloud your mind. Through the power of visualization and mindful breathing, you will be guided to let go of these heavinesses, creating space for peace, healing, and lightness. Begin by finding a quiet and comfortable place to sit or lie down. Ensure your body feels supported and relaxed. Rest your hands softly in your lap or by your sides. When you are ready, softly close your eyes, allowing the external world to fade into the background. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Fill your lungs completely, expanding your belly and chest. Hold the breath briefly at the top, savoring this fullness. Exhale fully through your mouth, releasing tension. Repeat this breath 2 more times, each time feeling yourself settle more deeply into this calm moment. Bring your awareness now to the natural flow of your breath. Steady, calm, effortless. Notice the coolness as you inhale, the warmth as you exhale. Let your breath be a gentle anchor grounding you in the present moment. Now, bring to mind any emotional burdens you may be carrying. These might be resentments held toward others or yourself, feelings of bitterness, anger, sadness, or any heaviness that weighs on your spirit. You don't need to force or judge these feelings. Simply acknowledge their presence. Visualize these emotional burdens as tangible objects, perhaps heavy stones, thick chains, or dark clouds. See them clearly in your mind's eye, noticing their size, shape, weight, and texture. They might be large or small, sharp or dull, familiar or strange. Where do you feel these burdens in your body? Perhaps in your chest, shoulders, stomach, or back. Gently bring your attention to that area. Sense the weight or tension resting there now. Imagine a warm, soothing light beginning to glow in your heart center. This light is soft and radiant, filled with compassion, healing, and peace. With each inhale, see this light growing stronger and brighter. With each exhale, feel it spreading from your heart throughout your entire body. Direct this healing light to the areas where you feel the emotional burdens most strongly. Imagine the light gently melting away the heaviness, dissolving chains, lifting stones, and dispersing dark clouds with every breath. Feel the burden becoming lighter, smaller, and less dense. Now, picture a river flowing nearby, clear, cool, and serene. See yourself walking toward the river, carrying your emotional burdens in your hands. As you approach the water, pause for a moment, honoring the weight you have carried and acknowledging the pain you have felt. With intention and care, begin to place each burden into the flowing river. See the stones sinking slowly beneath the surface, the chains dissolving in the water, the dark clouds breaking apart and drifting away on the breeze. Watch as the river carries these burdens downstream, away from you. Out of your body and mind, feel the space that opens up inside you as the burdens leave. Sense the lightness returning to your chest, the ease spreading through your shoulders, the calm settling in your mind. Now, take a moment to breathe deeply and enjoy this feeling of release. Silently repeat to yourself, I release what no longer serves me. I free myself from the weight of resentment. I welcome peace and healing. Allow these affirmations to settle into your heart. If any residual feelings arise, observe them gently without resistance. Remember, releasing emotional burdens is a gradual process. Be patient and kind with yourself. Visualize the warm light continuing to fill every corner of your being, nourishing and restoring you. Know that this light is always within you, a wellspring of compassion and strength. As you prepare to conclude this meditation, bring your awareness back to your breath. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Notice the sounds around you. Feel the points of contact your body makes with the surface beneath you. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch your arms and legs softly. When you feel ready, open your eyes gently. Take a moment to appreciate the calm and spaciousness within you. Carry this sense of lightness and peace with you as you move through your day. Remember, you have the power to release emotional burdens whenever they arise. Thank you for sharing this healing practice. May you walk forward lighter, freer, and more at peace. In the vast traditions of Zen and ancient wisdom, courage is not simply the roar of battle or the flash of swords. True courage is often quieter, deeper, the calm strength that arises from mastery over oneself. It is the warrior's calm. Let me tell you a story about a warrior who discovered this profound courage through inner stillness and emotional mastery. Long ago, in a distant land filled with rugged mountains and sweeping plains, there lived a young warrior named Hiroshi. Trained from childhood in the art of combat, Hiroshi was skilled with the sword, swift and fierce. His reputation grew across the land as a fearless fighter who never backed down from a challenge. Yet, despite his outward strength, Hiroshi struggled inside. His mind was often restless, plagued by doubts, fears, and anger. In battle, his emotions surged like wild storms, sometimes fueling his fighting spirit, but often clouding his judgment and draining his energy. One day, Hiroshi sought the counsel of a revered Zen master known for his wisdom in both battle and life. The master lived in a serene monastery nestled among ancient cedar trees, a place of quiet reflection and stillness. Hiroshi approached the master, confessing his turmoil. "Master," he said, "I have trained my body to fight many foes, but I cannot master the battles within. My anger and fear sometimes overwhelm me. How can I find true courage?" The master looked deeply into Hiroshi's eyes and replied, "Courage is not the absence of fear or turmoil. It is the stillness that holds the storm. Come with me." Together, they walked to a peaceful pond, reflecting the sky and surrounding forest. The master pointed to the water's surface. "Observe the pond." Hiroshi watched the calm surface, then noticed a sudden breeze ripple the water, distorting the reflection. The master spoke, "The surface of your mind is like this pond. When the winds of anger, fear, and doubt blow, the reflection becomes distorted. You see only confusion." He continued, "But if you allow the pond to settle, if you let the ripples fade, the water becomes clear again. Then you see the world as it truly is." The master taught Hiroshi meditation practices to cultivate inner stillness, mindfulness of breath, gentle awareness of thoughts and feelings, and compassionate presence with himself. At first, Hiroshi found it difficult. His mind raced, his emotions flared. But with patience, he persisted. Gradually, Hiroshi noticed moments of calm emerging amidst the storm. In battle, instead of reacting impulsively to provocation, he began to pause, breathe, and observe. He learned to recognize fear without letting it control him. He met anger with compassion, understanding that it was a signal, not an enemy. This stillness did not weaken his warrior spirit, it strengthened it. From this calm center, Hiroshi's actions became more precise, his decisions wiser. He moved with confidence, rooted not in aggression, but in presence. The other warriors noticed a change. Hiroshi's calm courage inspired respect. Beyond his skill with the sword, one day, when confronted with a formidable opponent, Hiroshi faced the challenge without fury or fear. He stood like the settled pond, unshaken by the tempest. His opponent, sensing this deep calm, faltered. The battle was won not by force, but by mastery of self. This story reminds us that courage arises from emotional mastery, the ability to remain present and steady amid life's challenges. In our own lives, we face battles with stress, conflict, loss, and uncertainty. The warrior's calm invites us to cultivate inner stillness as the foundation of true courage. Through mindfulness and compassion, we learn to meet our emotions without being overwhelmed. We develop resilience, clarity, and strength. Rooted in presence, reflect now on moments when your emotions felt like a storm. What might it mean to be the settled pond beneath those ripples? How might cultivating inner stillness transform your experience of courage? Know that the path of the warrior's calm is available to you through daily practice, patience, and kindness with yourself. Take a deep breath, feeling the calm warrior within you. Let this calm strength guide your steps forward with courage and peace. A path of balance and harmony that avoids extremes. When it comes to our emotional lives, the middle way offers profound and explosive reactivity on the other. Understanding emotional extremes. Emotions are a natural and essential part of our human experience. This is the act of pushing feelings away, denying their existence, or burying them deep within. It may seem like a safe refuge, avoiding pain, conflict, or vulnerability. Anxiety, depression, or sudden outbursts when the pressure becomes too great. On the other extreme lies explosion, the unchecked release of emotions, often in ways. This may manifest as anger, outbursts, impulsive behaviors, or overwhelming fear. Explosive reactions can damage relationships and disrupt inner peace. The middle way teaches that neither extreme serves us well. Instead, a balanced approach to emotions allows us to acknowledge and feel our emotions fully without becoming overwhelmed or shutting down. The middle way in emotional response. Practicing the middle way means cultivating mindful awareness of our emotions as they arise. It invites us to recognize emotions early, noticing their subtle beginnings. Accept emotions without judgment or resistance. Express emotions skillfully in ways that are constructive and appropriate. We develop emotional resilience and wisdom. Practical steps to cultivate balance. 1. Develop mindful awareness. Begin by tuning in to your internal experience throughout the day. Notice when emotions arise. Are you holding back? Are you rushing to express? Practice observing emotions with curiosity and openness, like a scientist examining a phenomenon. 2. Allow emotions to be rather than pushing emotions away, or remember, emotions are transient. Build up. 3. Express emotions constructively. Find healthy ways to express what you feel. This might be through calm conversation, journaling, creative outlets, or physical. Use breath awareness to stay centered. Deep, slow breaths calm the nervous system and create space for mindful response. Grounding practices. Feeling your feet on the floor or your body supported help maintain balance. 5. Avoid judgment. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate emotions. Avoid labeling emotions as good or bad. Emotional turbulence. 6. Seek support when needed. Sometimes emotions feel overwhelming. Seeking guidance from friends, counselors, or spiritual teachers can provide perspective and tools in Zen lore. Many stories illustrate the middle way in action. One tale tells of a master who advised a student angered by an insult. Instead of reacting harshly or suppressing his feelings, the student practiced mindful breathing, observing his anger without attachment. Over time, the anger softened and transformed into understanding. This transformation exemplifies the middle way, neither repression nor outburst, but conscious presence. Reflecting on your own emotional balance, consider your usual emotional responses. Do you tend toward suppression, bottling up feelings until they overwhelm? Or do you lean toward explosion, reacting quickly and intensely? What might it look like to find a middle ground? Imagine responding to difficult emotions with calm awareness. See yourself accepting feelings, expressing them wisely, and letting them flow. Balance is not a fixed state, but a dynamic process. Life's challenges will test your equanimity. Zen, your capacity. Each lapse is an opportunity to return to the path over time and deeper connection with yourself and others. Closing thoughts. Walking the middle way in your emotional life is a profound form of self-care and wisdom. It frees you from the exhausting cycles of suppression and explosion. It invites you into a spacious, compassionate way of being as you practice. May you find greater harmony and freedom in your heart, harmonizing the natural flow of your feelings through breath and body awareness. This practice will help you move from extremes of emotional turbulence toward a steady, calm, and vibrant inner state. Find a comfortable posture, either seated or lying down, where you feel supported and relaxed. Let your hands rest gently on your lap or by your sides. Soften your gaze or close your eyes if that feels natural. Begin by taking a few slow, deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose, filling your lungs fully and expanding your belly. Hold briefly. Exhale completely through your mouth, releasing tension. Repeat this 2 more times, allowing your body to soften with each exhale. Now, bring your attention to the natural rhythm of your breathing. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest and belly. Allow your breath to become your anchor in the present moment as you settle into this awareness. Begin a slow, gentle scan of your body. Starting at the crown of your head, move your attention down through your face, neck, shoulders, arms, torso, hips, legs, and feet. Notice any areas of tension, tightness, or discomfort. Allow your breath to soften these areas, inviting relaxation. Now, bring your attention to your emotional energy, the subtle sensations associated with feelings. You might notice warmth, pressure, tingling, or subtle shifts in muscle tone. Emotions often manifest as physical sensations. Invite an attitude of curiosity and acceptance. There is no need to change or judge what you feel. Simply observe. Imagine your emotional energy as a flowing river within your body, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent. Your breath is the steady boat carrying you along this river. With each inhale, imagine gathering scattered energy, bringing it into harmony. With each exhale, release excess tension and imbalance. Silently repeat to yourself, I cultivate balance. I harmonize my energy. As you continue, visualize a warm, glowing light in your heart center. This light pulses gently with your breath, radiating calm and vitality throughout your body. With each inhale, see the light grow brighter, filling your entire being. With each exhale, imagine it dissolving blocks or stagnation in your emotional flow. Allow this light to harmonize conflicting emotions, smoothing sharp edges and nurturing gentle strength. If difficult emotions arise, anxiety, anger, sadness, observe them as part of this river's current. Allow the light to flow through and around them, holding them with compassion. Feel your emotional energy becoming balanced, neither suppressed nor overwhelming, but alive and steady. Now, bring your focus to your hands. Notice any sensations or warmth. Imagine your balanced energy flowing from your heart to your hands, then outward to your environment. Feel connected to the world around you, sending and receiving energy with ease. As this meditation draws to a close, deepen your breath. Feel your body grounded and your emotions steady. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch your arms and legs. When ready, open your eyes softly, carrying this sense of balanced emotional energy with you. Remember, cultivating harmony within your emotional flow is a practice available whenever you need to return to calm and clarity. Thank you for dedicating this time to your inner well-being. Awareness is the seed from which all meaningful change grows. Without it, attempts to change habitual behaviors, emotional reactions, or thought patterns often falter. With it, change becomes possible, even inevitable. This teaching invites you to explore deeply how cultivating mindful presence, a steady, compassionate observation of your experience, can disrupt the unconscious repetition of habits. Automatic patterns. Habits are deeply ingrained patterns of behavior, thought, and emotion that operate largely beneath conscious awareness. These patterns develop over time through repetition, creating neural pathways that strengthen with each enactment. Consider everyday habits: brushing your teeth, tying your shoes, or your morning routine. These are beneficial and useful automatic behaviors. However, habits extend beyond simple actions. Emotional reactions, like impatience when stressed, snapping at loved ones, or retreating when overwhelmed, can also become habitual patterns. Often, these ingrained responses serve old purposes, protecting us, expressing unmet needs, or coping with discomfort, but they may no longer serve our highest good. They can trap us in cycles of suffering, limiting our growth and peace. Without awareness, these habits continue unchecked, shaping our lives in ways we barely notice. The power of awareness, bringing light to the shadow. Awareness is like a light that illuminates the dark corners of our habitual mind. When you cultivate awareness, you begin to see the patterns as they unfold in real time. You notice the triggers, the urges, the sensations, the thoughts, and the actions as they happen, rather than after the fact or not at all. This mindful witnessing is the foundation. By creating a pause, a gap where choice becomes possible. Imagine driving a familiar route on autopilot. Your body knows the way, but your mind may wander. Awareness is like suddenly waking up and noticing the path, traffic, and surroundings. With this presence, you can decide to slow down, take a detour, or simply enjoy the journey differently. Similarly, in emotional or behavioral habits, awareness allows you to wake up from autopilot, cultivating mindful presence. How do we cultivate this awareness? Body sensations, or the flow of thoughts and feelings into daily life. Begin to notice moments when habitual reactions arise. Perhaps you feel a familiar tension in your chest when these signals, as they emerge. This simple act of noticing weakens the grip of habitual patterns. It shifts you from being a passive reactor to an active observer. The role of judgment or self-criticism, curiosity and compassion are essential companions on this journey. Approach your habits as a scientist, exploring with interest and kindness what need might be underlying this pattern. What happens if I allow space instead of reacting immediately? Cultivating this gentle, curious attitude creates a safe environment for change. You are more likely to explore and understand your habits deeply rather than suppress or avoid them, interrupting the cycle. Practical strategies beyond awareness. Practical tools help disrupt habitual repetition. 1. Recognition of triggers. Become familiar with specific triggers, external situations, thoughts, or feelings that tend to activate your habitual responses. For example, feeling ignored might trigger irritability. By recognizing these triggers early, to create a pause when you notice a habitual urge. Even a brief moment of conscious breathing can interrupt automatic behavior. 3. Setting intentions before entering known, challenging situations. Set a clear intention about how you wish to respond. For example, I will listen calmly, or I will take a deep breath before speaking. 4. Replacing habits once you create space. Introduce new, healthier responses. For example, replace snapping with taking a mindful breath. Repetition of new behaviors gradually rewires neural pathways. Habit change as a lifelong process. Understand that changing habits is not instantaneous. It requires patience, consistency, not failures. Each moment of mindfulness strengthens your capacity. Each choice toward conscious response is a victory. Zen wisdom. Presence beyond doing. Zen teaches that true change emerges not from force or willpower alone, but from deep presence. When you are fully present, transformation. Reflective practice. Take a moment to reflect. What habits or patterns do you wish to change? How aware are you of them in daily life? What small steps can you take today to bring mindful presence to these patterns? Awareness is your greatest ally in transforming habits. By cultivating mindful presence with curiosity and compassion, you disrupt unconscious repetition and open the door to freedom. Remember, each moment of awareness is a step toward greater peace and authentic living. Through breath, body awareness, visualization, and reflection, you will learn to pause, observe, and respond skillfully rather than react automatically. Introduction. Habitual reactions are like well-worn grooves in the mind, automatic, quick, and often unconscious. They serve a purpose, but sometimes they no longer serve us well. They may cause pain, confusion, or prevent us from living in alignment with our true values. Mindful choice is the ability to recognize these habitual moments as they arise, pause before reacting, and make deliberate decisions grounded in presence, clarity, and compassion. This meditation will help you cultivate this precious skill, preparing for practice. Find a comfortable, quiet space where you won't be disturbed. On a chair with feet flat on the floor, or lying down if that is more comfortable. Rest your hands gently on your lap or by your sides. Allow your eyes to close softly, or lower your gaze. Begin by tuning into your breath. Take a deep, slow inhale through your nose, filling your lungs fully. Hold the breath briefly, then exhale gently through your mouth, releasing tension. Repeat this deep breathing 2 more times, feeling your body soften with each exhale. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. Notice the sensations of inhaling and exhaling, the coolness, the warmth, the gentle flow. Allow your mind to settle into this present moment, grounded by the breath. Body awareness, anchoring presence. Bring your attention to your body. Notice points of contact with the floor, chair, or cushion. Feel the weight of your body being fully supported, starting at the crown of your head. Slowly scan down through your face, neck, shoulders, arms, torso, hips, legs, and feet. Observe any areas of tension, tightness, or discomfort without judgment. Breathe into those places, inviting relaxation. Allow your whole body to soften and open, creating a stable, calm foundation for the work ahead. Recognizing habitual patterns now. Bring to mind a recent moment when you acted out of habit, a time when your response was automatic rather than conscious. This might be a situation where you felt irritated, anxious, defensive, or reactive. Visualize that moment clearly in your mind. See the surroundings, hear the sounds, recall the people involved. Notice the sensations in your body as you recall the experience. Tension, rapid heartbeat, tightness. Observe the thoughts and emotions that arose. Allow yourself to witness the entire scene with compassionate curiosity, as if you are watching a film without judgment. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward mindful choice. The pause, creating space for choice. Imagine now that just before your habitual response, there is a small gap, a pause, a space. This space is where awareness and choice meet. With your next inhale, feel this pause expand within you. With your exhale, soften into this space. Silently affirm, I create space. I choose how to respond. The breath and body are your anchors. Focus your attention on the breath, calming the nervous system. Feel your feet firmly planted or your body fully supported. Ground yourself here, present, steady, alive. Mindful inquiry, deepening awareness within this pause. Invite yourself to inquire gently, what am I feeling right now? What sensations arise in my body? What thoughts are present? What do I need in this moment? Explore these questions with openness, without rushing to conclusions or judgments. This inquiry helps you connect with your deeper self and underlying needs. Visualization, choosing a new response now. Imagine the habitual response you usually appearing before you. One path leads to the habitual response, quick, reactive, perhaps causing pain or regret. The other path leads to a mindful choice, calm, wise, and aligned with your values. See yourself choosing the mindful path. Feel the calm and clarity as you step onto this new path. Imagine the positive consequences, healthier relationships, inner peace, self-respect, embodying mindful choice. Bring your attention back to your body. Feel the sensations associated with making a different choice. Notice any resistance or fear and breathe into it. Allow your body to embody the calm strength of mindful action. Recognize that every moment offers an opportunity for this choice. Integrating practice into daily life now. Consider practical ways to integrate mindful choice into your everyday routines. Use breath as a signal to pause before reacting. Set daily intentions to respond with awareness. Reflect at the end of each day on moments when you practiced mindful choice. Celebrate small victories without judgment of setbacks. Remember, this is a gradual journey, one breath, one moment at a time. Loving kindness to support change bring to mind a sense of kindness and compassion toward yourself. Silently repeat, may I be patient with myself. May I grow with each moment. Know that cultivating mindful choice is an act of self-love. You deserve patience and grace. Slowly deepen your breath. Begin to bring small movements to your fingers and toes. Stretch your arms and legs gently. When you feel ready, softly open your eyes. Take a moment to notice your presence, your calm, and your readiness to engage life with mindful choice, reflection, and commitment before ending. Reflect on what you have learned. How does creating a pause empower you? What challenges do you anticipate? How will you remind yourself to practice mindful choice? Make a silent commitment to carry this awareness forward. Thank you for dedicating this time to your inner growth. May your journey of mindful choice bring freedom, peace, and authentic living. In the heart of Zen tradition lies a profound teaching about the nature of life, its ebb and flow, its unpredictable twists and turns, and our response to them. This teaching is beautifully captured in the story known as the Farmer's Wisdom. Today, I invite you to journey with me through this story. Beyond a simple tale, it holds a living lesson, an invitation to embrace acceptance and equanimity when faced with life's inevitable uncertainty. The story there once lived a humble farmer. In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and flowing rivers, he was a man of simple ways, waking early each day to tend his fields, care for his animals, and live in harmony with the land. His reputation was not for grand achievements or wealth, but for his steady, peaceful nature. One day, a powerful horse escaped from the farmer's stable and galloped into the wild hills. The neighbors came running, offering their sympathies for the loss. Such bad luck, they said, but the farmer simply replied, maybe. The next day, the runaway horse returned, but it was not alone. It had brought with it a wild stallion. Now the farmer's stable was filled with 2 horses. The neighbors came again to congratulate him. What great fortune, they exclaimed. The farmer said again, maybe. The following day, the farmer's son, while trying to tame the wild stallion, fell and broke his leg. The neighbors came to commiserate. Such misfortune, they said. The farmer calmly answered, maybe. Not long after, the king's men arrived in the village, conscripting young men to join the army for war. When they saw the farmer's son with his broken leg, they passed him by. The neighbors came once more, saying, how fortunate you are. The farmer replied, maybe. The layers of the farmer's wisdom at first glance. This story might seem simple, almost repetitive, but beneath its quiet surface lies deep wisdom about acceptance, known attachment, and the nature of our judgments. Each event the farmer experiences carries no fixed label of good or bad. Uncertainty with a calm, steady heart. This maybe reflects his refusal to be swept away by immediate judgments or emotional reactions. It is a recognition that life is fluid, constantly changing, and that what appears as misfortune might lead to blessing, and vice versa. Acceptance as freedom. The farmer embodies acceptance, a radical openness to life, just as it is, without resistance or clinging. Acceptance does not mean passivity or resignation. It does not imply giving up on hopes or efforts. Rather, it means meeting each moment fully, without pushing against reality or fleeing from discomfort. By accepting the events of life with equanimity, the farmer frees himself from the turmoil of judgment and emotional upheaval. He is not trapped in the roller coaster of highs and lows, fortune and misfortune. Instead, he rests in a steady center, like the calm eye of a storm. Equanimity, the balanced mind. Equanimity, a balanced, composed mind, is the second pillar of the farmer's wisdom. Life's unpredictability can provoke strong emotional reactions: joy, disappointment, fear, anger. These emotions are natural and valid. However, when we become identified with them, we become unbalanced, reactive, and often suffering. The farmer's maybe shows a mind that neither clings to pleasure nor resists pain. It holds a gentle detachment, an ability to witness without being overwhelmed. This quality is cultivated through mindfulness and practice, reflecting on our own life's storms as you listen to this story, as good or bad. How often have you found yourself caught in the swinging pendulum of elation and despair? Are there moments where you might practice the farmer's maybe? Imagine meeting your challenges and blessings with openness. Imagine how this might change your experience of stress and suffering. The science behind acceptance. Modern psychology and neuroscience affirm what ancient wisdom has long taught. Acceptance practices, often through mindfulness, reduce stress and improve emotional regulation. When we stop fighting reality and instead allow ourselves to be present with it, we activate calming neural pathways. This shifts us from the reactive brain centers to the prefrontal cortex, enabling wiser responses. Thus, acceptance is not only spiritual, but also practical and health-promoting. Practical ways to cultivate acceptance and equanimity inspired by the farmer's example. Here are practical steps you can take. 1. Practice mindful observations. Start noticing your reactions to daily events. When something unexpected occurs, pause. Observe your initial emotional response. Label your feelings gently without judgment. This creates space between stimulus and reaction to embrace uncertainty. Recognize that life is inherently uncertain. Let go of the need to control whatever it holds. 3. Cultivate patience. Accents often requires patience with yourself and situations. Allow time for healing, understanding, and growth. 4. Use breath to anchor when emotions arise. Return to the breath. Deep, slow breathing calms the nervous system. Anchor yourself in presence and clarity. 5. Repeat the maybe when caught in judgment. Remind yourself, maybe. This simple word softens certainty and opens your mind. 6. Reflect on impermanence. Remember that all things change. Nothing is fixed or permanent. This perspective eases attachment and suffering. The farmer's wisdom in your life bring your awareness. Now, inward. Consider a current challenge or change you face. Imagine responding with the farmer's maybe. See yourself meeting the moment with acceptance and calm. Feel how your mind softens, your heart opens. Allow this practice to grow with you. Closing meditation, resting in the maybe. The farmer's wisdom. Close your eyes softly. Bring your attention to your breath. Breathe naturally, gently with each inhale. Invite openness with each exhale. Release resistance. Silently say to yourself, maybe. Allow this word to echo softly within. Feel it dissolve fixed judgments and create space. Rest in this spaciousness. Know that life unfolds moment by moment. You have the strength to meet it with equanimity. When you are ready, slowly deepen your breath. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Open your eyes gently. Take this calm presence into your day. The farmer's wisdom teaches us that acceptance and equanimity are not signs of weakness or passivity. They are profound strengths, the foundation for peace, resilience, and freedom. As you continue your path, may you carry the maybe within you, a quiet reminder to meet life's unpredictable time. In the long and winding journey of healing, growth, and personal transformation, one of the most profound and often most difficult milestones is learning to forgive ourselves. We often hear about the importance of forgiving others, but the forgiveness we extend inward is equally, if not more, vital. This process of self-forgiveness, intertwined with embracing our innate imperfections, lays the foundation for deep, lasting peace. The human mind has a remarkable tendency to focus on flaws, mistakes, and perceived failures. It magnifies these aspects, weaving them into narratives of unworthiness and self-rejection. Over time, these stories become internal prisons that restrict our joy, peace, and authentic living. Yet, through cultivating self-compassion and forgiveness, we can loosen these chains and open ourselves to healing. Today's teaching invites you to journey into this inner work, exploring what it truly means to forgive oneself and to embrace imperfection with kindness, patience, and grace. The weight of self-judgment. Many of us carry a silent, heavy burden, the burden of self-judgment. This inner critic whispers harsh truths. You are not good enough. You've failed. You don't deserve love. You are weak. These voices are relentless, often echoing louder than any external criticism. They root deeply in our psyche and shape how we relate to ourselves and the world. Unlike judgments from others, which we can sometimes distance ourselves from, self-judgment feels inescapable because it comes from within. It can lead to feelings of shame, guilt, anxiety, depression, and a pervasive sense of isolation. The psychological and physiological impacts are profound, increasing stress, lowering immune function, disrupting sleep, and eroding mental well-being. The tragedy is that these internal attacks often arise not from truth, but from misunderstanding, fear, or outdated beliefs formed during childhood or painful experiences. What is self-forgiveness? Self-forgiveness is a conscious process, a decision to release harsh self-criticism and to extend compassion toward oneself, despite mistakes or flaws. It involves recognizing that being human means being imperfect and fallible. Self-forgiveness does not mean excusing harmful behavior or avoiding responsibility. Instead, it means acknowledging what happened with honesty, feeling the associated pain, and choosing to free oneself from the corrosive grip of blame and shame. It is an act of courage and self-love, Forgiveness is not a one-time event, but a journey, often involving repeated commitment and gentle reminders. Embracing imperfection, the heart of self-compassion. To forgive oneself fully, one must also embrace imperfection. This means meeting the parts of ourselves that feel flawed, broken, or less than with warmth and kindness. Imperfection is not a problem to fix, but a natural aspect of being human. Zen wisdom beautifully reminds us that all beings are imperfect and in flux, like leaves in the wind or clouds in the sky. Trying to be perfect or whole all the time is like trying to hold water in a fist. Ultimately, it slips away and causes frustration. When we embrace imperfection, we relieve the impossible pressure to be flawless and open the door to authentic living. This acceptance nurtures self-compassion, the willingness to be gentle with ourselves. In our struggles, the power of self-compassion involves three key elements: self-kindness, treating ourselves with warmth and understanding instead of harsh judgment; common humanity, recognizing that suffering and imperfection are part of the shared human experience; mindfulness, holding painful feelings in balanced awareness, neither suppressing nor exaggerating them. Research shows that self-compassion is linked with reduced anxiety and depression, increased resilience, and greater emotional well-being. It fosters healthier relationships, as compassion toward oneself naturally flows outward. By cultivating self-compassion, we create fertile ground for self-forgiveness and healing. Common barriers. 2. Self-forgiveness. Many people struggle to forgive themselves due to shame, a deep sense of unworthiness that convinces us we don't deserve forgiveness; guilt, feeling responsible for harm caused, leading to self-punishment; perfectionism, holding impossible standards and condemning ourselves for falling short; fear, worrying that forgiving oneself means condoning mistakes or repeating them. Understanding these barriers helps us approach self-forgiveness with patience and care. It reminds us that self-forgiveness is not about erasing accountability, but about releasing harmful emotional burdens. Practical steps toward forgiving oneself. 1. Acknowledge and accept your feelings. Begin by acknowledging the emotions connected with your mistakes or regrets: guilt, sadness, anger, or shame. Allow yourself to feel these emotions fully, without judgment or avoidance. This openness is the first step toward healing. 2. Reflect with compassion. Consider the circumstances that led to your actions or perceived failures. Recognize that you acted with the knowledge and resources available to you at the time. Extend compassion to your younger self, the part of you that did the best it could. 3. Write a forgiveness letter. Writing can be a powerful tool. Compose a letter to yourself, expressing forgiveness and kindness. Include acknowledgments of pain, regrets, and your intention to release self-judgment. 4. Practice mindfulness. Engage in mindfulness meditation, focusing on self-compassion when self-critical thoughts arise. Observe them without identification and gently redirect attention to kind affirmations. 5. Create affirmations. Develop personal affirmations such as, "I am worthy of forgiveness and love. I embrace my humanity with kindness. I release past mistakes and choose peace." Repeat these daily. 6. Seek support. Consider sharing your journey with trusted friends, counselors, or spiritual guides. External support can provide perspective and encouragement, embracing growth through imperfections. Forgiveness is not about ignoring lessons learned. Rather, it opens us to growth by releasing the heavy weight of self-condemnation. Energy is freed to heal, change, and evolve. Imperfection becomes a teacher, guiding us toward humility, patience, and wisdom. Stories and reflections reflect on the story of a sculptor who chisels away imperfections in a marble block. The block is not discarded for its flaws, but shaped gradually into a beautiful form. Similarly, self-forgiveness and embracing imperfection shape the soul, not by erasing flaws, but by honoring and transforming them. Guided reflection. Close your eyes softly. Bring your attention to your heart. Breathe deeply, inviting warmth and softness. Silently, repeat, I forgive myself. I embrace my imperfections. I am worthy of love and peace. Feel these words settle deeply. Allow compassion to flow to every corner of your being. Rest here as long as you like, forgiving oneself and embracing. Imperfection is a courageous act, a radical form of self-love. It transforms suffering into growth, judgment into compassion, and isolation into connection. May this teaching inspire you to walk gently with yourself, embracing your humanity fully and freely. In the landscape of meditation and mindfulness practices, metta, or loving-kindness meditation, holds a special place as a pathway to cultivate unconditional kindness, warmth, and acceptance. While many people begin metta by sending goodwill outward to others, the foundation of this practice rests in offering profound loving-kindness to ourselves. This segment invites you into an extended meditation focused entirely on yourself, embracing your flaws, acknowledging your humanity, and opening your heart with compassion. This loving kindness towards self is essential for healing, emotional resilience, and authentic self-acceptance. Whether you are new to meditation or experienced, this practice can serve as a nourishing refuge, a place where you meet yourself with gentle acceptance and radical kindness, setting the stage. Preparing for practice, find a quiet and comfortable place where you can sit undisturbed for the duration of this meditation. You may choose to sit cross-legged on a cushion, on a chair, with your feet grounded, or lie down if that feels more supportive. Allow your body to settle into a posture that feels both relaxed and alert. Rest your hands softly on your lap, thighs, or by your sides. Close your eyes gently or lower your gaze to soften visual distractions. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose, filling your lungs fully, and exhale gently through your mouth, releasing tension with each breath. Feel yourself sinking more deeply into the present moment, anchoring in the breath. Foundation of presence. Turn your attention to the breath, the ever-present rhythm of life moving in and out. Notice the sensations at the nostrils or the gentle rising and falling of your abdomen. Allow your breath to be natural, neither forced nor restrained. With each inhale, imagine drawing in calmness and acceptance. With each exhale, release tightness, judgment, or self-criticism. Feel the breath anchoring you firmly in the now, steadying your mind and heart, beginning loving kindness, cultivating warmth towards yourself. Now, bring your awareness to your heart center, the area around your chest. Visualize a soft, warm light glowing there. This light is the energy of loving kindness, gentle, nurturing, healing. With each breath, See this light growing warmer and brighter, filling your entire chest. Silently begin to offer yourself these traditional loving kindness phrases, or create your own that feel authentic. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Repeat these phrases slowly and sincerely. Feel the meaning and intention behind each word. Allow this kindness to soak into your heart, embracing your flaws. Radical acceptance as you continue to breathe with loving kindness. Bring to mind aspects of yourself you consider flawed or difficult. Perhaps mistakes, imperfections, weaknesses, or regrets surface. Invite these parts into your awareness without resistance. See them as part of your human story, not separate from the whole, but woven deeply within. Silently say to yourself, may I accept myself just as I am. May I be gentle with my flaws. May I forgive myself for my mistakes. Notice any resistance or discomfort that arises. Breathe into these sensations with compassion. Recognize that imperfection is the essence of humanity. By embracing your flaws, you release the harsh inner critic and open the door to healing. Deepening compassion. Visualization. Visualize yourself as a young child, your inner child, full of innocence, vulnerability, and worthiness. See this child sitting before you. Offer the child your warm, loving presence. Imagine wrapping the child in a soft blanket of kindness. Speak gently to this child. You are enough. You are loved. It's okay to be imperfect. Feel the tenderness and protection you offer. Allow yourself to receive this care fully, extending loving kindness to your whole being. Expand your loving kindness now to your entire body and mind. Starting at the crown of your head, imagine the warm light spreading slowly downward through your face, neck, shoulders, arms, chest, torso, hips, legs, and feet. Feel every cell bathed in kindness. Silently affirm, may my body be at peace. May my mind be gentle and calm. May I live with compassion for myself. Notice the sensations as the warmth travels through you, softening, relaxing, opening, meeting difficult emotions with kindness in this safe space of loving kindness. Allow any difficult emotions, anxiety, sadness, anger, fear, to surface. Do not push them away or try to fix them. Instead, welcome them as messengers, carrying important information. Say silently, may I be patient with my pain. May I hold my suffering with love. May these feelings pass with ease. Breathe deeply into any tension or discomfort. Feel your heart expand to hold these emotions without judgment. This acceptance creates space for transformation. Affirmations for self-compassion. Repeat these affirmations with intention and feeling. I am worthy of love and kindness. I forgive myself for my imperfections. I am learning and growing every day. I choose compassion over judgment. Allow these words to resonate in your body and mind. Feel their truth, strengthening your self-acceptance. Cultivating gratitude for yourself. Bring to mind qualities you appreciate about yourself. They can be strengths, acts of courage, kindness you have shown, or simply your presence in the world. Allow gratitude to arise. Silently say, I am grateful for my resilience. I appreciate my capacity to love. I honor my journey. Feel the gratitude filling your heart. Gratitude nourishes self-love and balances self-compassion, integrating loving kindness into daily life. Imagine Now carrying this loving kindness with you beyond this meditation, see yourself moving through your day grounded in self-compassion. When mistakes happen, offer yourself kindness rather than harshness. When difficult emotions arise, greet them with warmth and patience. Practice self-care as an expression of love. Visualize the positive ripple effects on your relationships and well-being. Closing the practice, begin to deepen your breath. Feel your body gently awakening. Move your fingers and toes. Stretch softly if you wish. When you feel ready, open your eyes. Take a moment to notice the peace and warmth within you. Carry this loving kindness as a beacon throughout your day. Before concluding, reflect quietly or journal about what feelings arose during this meditation. How did it feel to embrace your flaws with kindness? What intentions will you carry forward to nurture self-compassion daily? Remember, self-love is a practice, one that blossoms with patience and persistence. Thank you for joining this loving kindness meditation toward yourself. May your heart continue to open with compassion, acceptance, and deep peace.